I'm just about to go and work on my sandals. Do you like them? I hope you'll come and join me whilst I make them. Hello, so today we're going to make a little pair of shoes, little sandals, so that they will match Violet's lovely little outfit. So what we're going to need is, you're going to need a piece of foam board, and this is, I think it is 1/4 of an inch thick. Okay, you're going to need a piece of fabric which was left over from your outfit, and I used a fat quarter, so you should have enough left, and it needs to be 1.5 inches by 12 inches, and you want to cut it into, first of all you want to fold it, and you want to fold it in half like that, then bring it back, and then you want to fold this piece down like that and that piece down into the center, and do that on your whole strip like that, and then cut cut the strip into 4 3-inch pieces. Okay, so you've got that. Then you're going to need a piece of elastic, and this piece of elastic is 5 inches, and you'll need 2 of those. And you're going to need a piece of ribbon, and I think I used 26 inches of ribbon there, so that this is just for the one shoe. You probably have some of that left, I think. So then we're just going to start. So what I did, the other thing I used, I just went and got some really cheap, this is just like a self-adhesive paper, and I've laid it on top of my piece of foam board. And I'm just going to use that because it gives a nice thing. If you don't want to do it, you don't have to. You can lay it on there just like that. You can colour in the foam board with felts and stuff like that, or you can glue a piece of cardboard onto the top if you just don't want it white. I just had a piece of this left, and I just thought it would like make a nice little sandal base. I don't know if you can see it on there. So it just looks quite pretty on the sandal base. And the other thing you can do is, you need a glue stick and a glue gun. And I've got a glue stick and a glue gun here. I know they sell these in Poundland for about £5 in the glue sticks. You can get, I think, 10 for £1. So you can use that. So let's just put this to one side. Okay, so the first thing you're going to want to do is choose which doll you're going to make your outfit for, and I've chose Violet here, and I'm just going to put Violet's foot. Now make sure you've got the right foot, because I've just done the left foot there, and I'm going to want to do the right foot, and you will need a pencil for this, and you're going to draw around Violet's foot all the way. Okay, now what you can do, once you've drawn your left foot, you can just use that as a template for your right foot. Okay, unless your doll's got peculiar feet and they're all different sizes. Okay, and then what I did was I just came around and I just sort of gave this an outline, just so that it wasn't, I didn't want all those bumpy toes and things like that. Okay, and then you need to cut this out. Now this will cut with scissors if you want to do this. If you could only get a smaller foam board, you can stick 2 pieces of it together, because you won't see the size of it. Okay, so once you've done that, it will cut with scissors, but I've actually used a cutting knife, and this one I just got from a local shop, and they were free for £1. Okay, so you can just come in and use this. Now what I like to do is to just go slowly and cut around and do a couple of cuts on my shoe. Okay, so just come in first and just cut through that top paper. Alright, and just take your time and go around. That's it. And I try and do about 3 cuts if I can, because it's easier if you can get a nice straight edge to your cutting, if you can do. Okay. I'm just going to cut that little line there. There we go. And then I'm going to go around again. And go a bit deeper. And you probably get a much neater cut than I will, because my hands don't work very well. And So I can't put any pressure or anything down very well, but keep going until you've got it all cut out. Okay. There we go, I think that's almost done. Piece still holding on here. There we are. Right. Okay. So once you've got it cut, I'm just going to put that out of the way. What you can do is come around with your scissors, not your really decent scissors, and just trim off anything on that piece of board. And I'll tell you what I would say, and I notice I've just done it and I'm going to have to go around with my rubber and erase all that. I've done the pencil line on the wrong side. That should have been on the plain white side. Done it on the wrong side, so that I'm going to have to rub all that out now, because otherwise it won't look right. So I'm just taking off, I'm not actually just taking off any loose ends on this actual paper on the top, the sticky back plastic is it called, just there. And then I'm going to take an emery board or a piece of sandpaper or whatever you've got, and I'm just going to rub the ends on it until I get a nice smooth end on the foam all the way around. Okay, so you can just go around and just do that. So there we go. Now I would say now, if I were doing it, I would put this, turn this over, draw around it, and then use that as your template, because I think what otherwise you're going to end up with a piece which doesn't marry up. So you don't want two shoes and one looking not different from the other. So just do that. And if you notice that you have got a little piece of paper just hanging over the edge like I have here, you can just take your knife or your scissors and just neaten that up very slightly, like that, until you've got that all the way off. Okay, there we go, that's laying nicely now. Okay, so we've got our two pieces, so I'm just going to place a tiny bit of glue, hot glue. I'm just going to pop it in the centre at this end. There we go, and then I'm just going to fold into the centre there, like that, and then fold into the centre with that side there. That'll just hold that in place for me whilst I'm working, and do the same. For some reason that's not moving, it's because it's got a new piece of glue sticking in, but do the same on that side. Put that to the centre and that to the centre there. Okie dokie. Ow, hot. Be careful because it is hot. If you want to push down and you're worried about burning yourself, use the end of your scissors like that. Okay, so you've got your piece of elastic and we're going to tie a knot in it. Okay. Now you don't have to use elastic. I have seen this done with a hair bubble, so that would work just as well. Okay, and what we're going to do is we're going to place our piece of fabric, and I want to make sure my cats are going in the right direction. I'm going to place it underneath my fabric, and I'm going to slip it up through the centre like that. Line those two pieces up at the end and then pull this until you get a nice tight bit like that. There you go. Okay, so that's laying nicely. Now the next thing we are going to do is we're going to place it onto our shoe, and we want to have it quite near the front. Okay, now you can make this as tight or as loose as you want to fit your actual doll, but I would put it onto your doll's foot first and check that you've got it there right and it is in that right position. Okay, so I'm going to put her foot on like that, and then I will make sure that that is on the right position on there. So what you can do if you're brave enough to is to hang her foot like that on there, get her on there, and then get your glue, put one piece of glue onto this piece here, and then come back and we're going to stick it on. But what I will do first is just mark where I want it to be. So I'm wanting it to be here. So I want to put a piece of glue in between these two lines. So in between this line here and this line here. Okay, so you can just about see those marks there, in between there and there. I'm going to put a piece of glue just, so I'm just going to pop that on. Oh no, the glue went everywhere. I'll have to pull some of that off. Right, okay, and then taking my fabric, making sure it's the right way up, I'm just going to slip that onto there. Don't worry if your fabric sticks out underneath, because you can trim that off, okay? Like that. Just get that sat nicely on there and stuck down nicely, okay? So I've got that one on, and I'm going to pop it onto my doll's foot now. And I'm going to get it to come around where I would like her to be. I've got my board just underneath her heel there, so that I can push my shoe down a bit more to the table. And I'm going to pull this up and put it on where I want that to be. Okay. So take your pencil then and mark. So that's roughly where I want it to be. So I'm going to take my pencil and I'm just going to mark the front here with my pencil and the back. Okay, so when I take that off, you can see I've got the front and the back there. So I'm just going to pop a bead of glue along it. Be really careful because this is hot, okay? That's if anything comes out. There we go, got it. And then I'm just going to pop it back onto her foot and run it around and place it on. Now, if you wanted to have her with socks on for this outfit, what I would do is I would put the socks on first before to try it out, because otherwise you're not going to know the size of her foot, okay? And then you can just get that on and let that stick for a minute. So that's nice and stuck, and then you can come along and we can just going to take the scissors and we're just going to trim straight along there, just like that. So I'm taking my scissors. You probably don't want to use your best dressmaking scissors for this, actually. I have done it and I probably shouldn't have because of the glue. It's not too bad, actually. That's been alright. Okay, right, what I have noticed is this one here, look, hasn't stuck down. It has stuck down on the outside, but it hasn't stuck on the inside, so I'm just going to put a tiny bit of glue there and then make sure that's stuck down on top of it like that. There you go. Okay. So the next thing we want to do is to do exactly the same as we did before with the back, and just put a piece of glue in the centre like that and fold into it there and there like that, and then do exactly the same again. And I've been told that if you do this and you do that like that, you stop getting those long ends, but I still seem to get them. And then push that one in like that and that one in like that there. Okay, and then you should get a nice flat surface. The only other thing I'm going to do is, so this will go on the back of my shoe here, like that. So what I'm going to do is just pop this in that between that circle there of elastic, and then I'm going to bring it up and fold it in half, and then I'm going to just open it up like that. I'm actually going to trim those down a little bit, that piece of elastic there. There we go, and I'm just going to open it up and pop a little dob of elastic right in that centre on that bottom side. So just there, and I'm going to put it just there on that bit there. Okay, and pop that elastic right onto that, so that just keeps that in there, in place, and then fold that down. Now just stop that knot from sliding out the side, like that. Okay, I'll just get some of this glue off me. So the next thing you're going to do is to pop this back onto Violet's foot. It's going on this one, and that slides on like that. Just like that. That's going to go on there and go onto her foot. like that, and then we're going to work out where we want this back to be, and the back just really is there just to hold that all on and stop it from falling off our foot. Okay, and we're going to want it about there. All right, so I'm going to pop the glue. I'm going to do exactly the same as we did before, make the mark on that side, and then go around the other side with the pencil and make the mark on that side with the pencil. Okay, so you can see where it is there. And we're going to put glue between those two marks. There we go, slip it back over her foot and then pull this down so that looks like as if it would be a comfortable fit for her. Like that. Push that on. And then you can remove it once you've got it pushed on from her foot. Okay, pull that up. And then we're going to just put this, do exactly the same and put that another piece on the top. So just going to put glue across here. There we go. And pop that piece down onto it just like that. Try and keep it lined up if you can. There we go. Okay. Let's give that a second and then we'll trim off all this piece of fabric here. Let's not use our dressmaking scissors. We don't want to be cutting through that glue. Right. Mind you, that is my Tim Holtz, very expensive fabric, paper cutting scissors. Okay, so there we have our little shoe. And you could just leave it like that if you wanted to. We're going to put a piece of ribbon on it. Now, probably what you want to do is have a piece of ribbon which is slightly shorter than this, but I just love this piece of ribbon, so I'm going to go with this. But I would say you probably want one of those very thin ones, about half the size of this. You could fold it if you wanted to and put it unfolded, but I'm going to just do it like this for now. I'm going to just put a little bit of glue on it at a time and go all the way around, keeping it just on the edge like that there. Okay, right, so we'll start with that, and we'll start here at the back and we'll just come around. I'll just do a little bit at a time. Put my ribbon on. There we go, and I'll just keep it so that it's sitting right on that very edge of my shoe. There we go. Okay. It's one of those things, isn't it? Sometimes you sort of think, oh, but I love that and that's what I want to use. I don't want to use that other ribbon. I want to use that because it's so pretty, sort of thing. But really, you should use the right size. But then, do as you like. What you fancy, do what you like. Put it around. If you notice that there is some glue, you can go around and neaten it up afterwards with your scissors or with a knife. Keep pulling it around. There we go. Just a minute. I'm not as skilled as some people with the glue. There we are. Come around the front. And I managed to get glue on my board, so I'm going to put that back over there a minute. Hopefully that'll dry and then come off my cutting board. I've actually had it sitting on a piece of paper, which has worked all right up to now, and then I've managed to get it on there, and I've got it on my hands, and I've got it virtually everywhere. And put it along like that. Pull that. And what I'm doing is I'm pulling the ribbon as I'm going around, so it's actually pulling it onto it like that. There we go. Okay. Keep just coming along, last few little bit to there. Careful. You can see there's a bit of glue there, so what you can do is once you've done is you just come away along and pull it off just like that. There you go. And then here at the end, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to cut it just slightly bigger, like that. And I'm just going to fold that piece in under. So it just sits like that. It'll be sort of folded under like that, and it'll just cover it. So I should just pop a tiny dab of glue here without burning my finger. Okay, fold that back under, hold that neatly, and then put the rest of the glue on. Just going to clean myself up a sec. I'm not a great lover of this glue, to be honest. Hot glue gun. Seems to get very sticky when I use it. Now I've done a piece over there. Don't try and wipe it whilst it's hot because you'll end up burning yourself. Just go on, stick it down, and then you can come back once it's dried off and pull it off. It does make a good stick on it, and it works really well on this foam board. There we go, so that's laid nicely there. Okay, now as you can see I've got a bit around the bottom, and what I'm going to do is just get some of this stuff off me again. I don't like having messy hands. Right, okay, so what I'm going to do now is just run my glue gun around the bottom of that and just have a just like the end of the glue gun, like that, not really pushing it at all, just going around like that, and then just stick that down in under. And that should stick around there. Should be able to get all the way around and just press that down all the way in. So I've just got a last little bit of ribbon. I'm just going to take the two ends like that, just going to twist them through themselves and pull them through and make a little ribbon just like that. Now when you're doing this, what you want to do is try and get your ribbons on both shoes to be roughly the same size. So I'm just going to pull mine in and pull mine in until I get it sort of same size as that other one, and just keep pulling it until you get it to go how you want it to be. Mine is quite small, tiny bit smaller and a tiny bit smaller there. Okay, and I'm just going to pull a little bit tighter again and then pull them back in again, just to keep it nice and sat nicely. That was a bit long. There we go, I think that should do it. Yes, and then I'm going to just cut them to be the same size. And probably what you want to do is cut them on an angle and then it won't run. You could take them once you've cut them and just run a flame over them so that it would stop that end of the ribbon from running. But if you do it on an angle, quite often it doesn't run anyway. There we go. Okay, and then we're going to take a dab of glue and we're just going to stick that right onto the centre there like that. Okay, so a dab of glue on it. Oh, too much. And then stick that right onto the centre like that. As you can see, I'm not all that keen on working with glue, but it does give a nice result when it's finished. And there we go. So you have a little sander. And I'm going to pop them on, and then I will show you what she looks like with her little sandals on, all finished up. And they've come out really cute. She's looking really great in them. I really like them. Fit her really well, and she seems to be able to move her feet around, and they don't move around too much and seem quite stable on her feet. So I really like them. I hope you enjoyed this video. Goodbye.